We're all at home and we may be asking this question: where can we go? Where can we go? There have been times in my life when I've been paralyzed by fear, especially in regards to the future for my kids. And I've asked this question: where can I go? I can't move back. I can't stay where I'm at. I can't move forward. The future looks too dim. And we have this amazing description of people back in history, the Israelites, asking this same question. In the book of Deuteronomy, the Israelites have just left Egypt. They're ready to get into the promised land. And in chapter 1, Moses is rehearsing how this all happened. And he says, we were about to enter the promised land, and you decided to send out the 12 spies. And then when they came back with their report, you said, we can't do it. We can't move forward. And what we have is this picture of what's going on in their tents. Like us at home, they're in their tents. They've heard this word about how intimidating the future looks, how God's promise to bring them into the promised land, it might not work out because the future looks so bleak. And here's what we hear about them saying in their tents. It says they grumbled in their tents and said, the Lord hates us. He's out to destroy us. Their hearts melted in fear, and they said, we're not moving forward. Where can we go? They're asking that question, where can we go? We're hopeless in this situation. And yet Moses reminds them, the Lord has gone before you. He's fought for you in Egypt. He fought for you in the wilderness. He'll do it again. Move forward. Don't stop in fear. And he says, remember, he carried you like a father carries his child all the way along the journey to this point. Don't be afraid. He reminds them that he went ahead of you. He searched out a place for you to camp. He's brought you here. Now take the next step. Follow his promise. Follow his word. And we read in Deuteronomy that they refused. They didn't trust God. And God tells them in verse 39, he has this really powerful statement. He says, the little ones who you said would be victims or taken captive, I'll give them the promised land. But as for you, you turn back. And so we see first their conversation in their tent, and then God reveals more of their motive. He said, you were so concerned about your little ones. You didn't want to follow me because you put them in this vulnerable position in your mind. You thought they'd be victims to my promise, victims to my word. And because you feared that, you didn't obey, and now you're going to miss out. How tragic that we could miss out on God fulfilling a promise to us because we imagine a scenario where, no, if I follow God, my kids will be victims. And then God turns it around and says, okay, if that's what you think, I'm actually going to give them the promise, and you're missing out. And so we see this image of them saying, no, the future is too bleak. Where can we go? We have no choice. We can't move forward. We can't follow God. But if we look at Psalm 100, verse 5, their concern for their children was unfounded because it says in Psalm 105, for the Lord is good. His love endures forever. His faithfulness continues to every generation. Every generation. Your parents, you, your kids. Whatever the world looks like in 10 years, his faithfulness will be there. And so when you ask the question, where can I go? We go to God's promises and we walk in them. We live in them. In John chapter 6, Jesus' disciples asked this question, where can we go? But with a totally different angle. Jesus has realized his disciples, a lot of the people that followed him, have decided to turn back because what he was saying was really hard. And so they turned back. And he says to Peter, are you going away too? And Peter says, where can we go? You have the words of life. The difference is when you believe God's word to be life, you follow him. You believe his promises and you take them as yours. So whatever the future looks like for the next generation, he will meet them with his word as he has met you.